Hello, today I'm going to share with you 3 ways that I use to make MailChimp emails look better. These are the things that I find most people, when they say, oh, I need you to help me with my MailChimp email, I look at their email and these are the things that I repeatedly find that are no judgment on anybody. I know how painful MailChimp is to work with, but they're just like a bit ugly. They're the things that stand out. And so they are managing the font, sorting out your button, and getting your images right. So let's dive into those. You know what? Maybe I just need to do one at a time, or maybe I can do buttons and font. Let's see how we go, because I don't want this to be like a 20-minute video. Let's see how I go. All right, so when you're logged in, you can just click on this pencil and it will let you create an email. I'm going to give it a name demo because I'm demonstrating. Let's see. So there's all these other fields that I'll talk about at other times, but today I'm really just going to focus on designing the email. New builder, they're trying to improve. I'm going to stick with the old builder because that's what we're currently dealing with. I don't know what that whole new builder story is. Now, what I often do is I usually use a previous campaign as my basis. And that's what I recommend you do, because once you've made this email that looks decent, when you come back, go to campaigns. But if this is your first time like me showing you, then I recommend just come down and just choose like the most simple looking one, like 1 column full width, right? That's about as simple as it gets. Waiting for the load time. So I'm probably not going to bother populating with a lot of content. I mean, the other problem is if you have stuff in a Word doc or a Google Doc and you're bringing it in and then you paste it here, suddenly the formatting goes to the dogs. So let's just look at what's here. If this was the text that you'd brought in and you'd managed to even just get it to have these different sizes, or you're coming in and you're typing inside this robots thing, I recommend cancel that. Cancel that, my friend. Just delete everything and backspace until you've got nothing. And then the trick is to actually take absolute control, I just can't deal with that. You know, when you're on the video and then your phone starts ringing, that's what's going on here. So yeah, we don't want name. We can use this thing called a merge tag and we can put the person's first name. That's what I generally recommend. And then a comma. And let's say we're going to go down and we're going to have a sentence in large font. And then we're going to have some sentence in a smaller font. The trick is to basically I recommend choose 2 fonts for your MailChimp email. So they have quite a few now. They used to just have like this many, and now they have all these other ones as well. So choose one that's going to be your heading font and one that's going to be your body font, right? So the body font, just choose it and say, okay, I love a bit of Laura for my body font and I want my body font to be 18. And then this one that is like the welcome, like Shazam, big and exciting one, I'm going to use Korean New and I'm going to make that 24. And then for this one, I'm going to revert back and I'm going to make this one Laura 18 again. And so that is basically all there is to it, is to simply take manual control of your fonts. Don't try and type into this text box and think that MailChimp's going to make it easy for you, because when you drag over a new one, it's already got its text there. So click delete a few times just to make sure you've released all the voodoo from that text box, and then type again. And I'll do a quick demonstration of what happens when you copy out of, say, a Google Doc or Word doc and you paste it in, because that is a pain in the poodle. So I'm going to just copy this bit and come over here and paste it in. And yeah, now it's got some weird, like this is bold. I don't know why this is bold, and this is not a font that I like. So again, just take charge of it. Make it the size and the type that you want. It looks like it's bold, but it won't let me unbold. Which is exactly what I was saying before about it being really weird when you come in and you bring it from an external document. So even now, if I take charge, I just can't lose the bold off it. So one other thing you can do is you can sort of right click, is it going to let me? Paste and match style, but you kind of probably don't want that because it's got this voodoo in it. So if we try from scratch, let's see if we can paste and match style. Oh, it brought it in empty. Isn't that just like the best moment? And so this is where we would choose that heading font that we decided before. And then for these ones, we would choose the body font. It's just like even I breathe a sigh of relief when it finally works because it's just so torturous, honestly. MailChimp. So that's one thing. One other tiny quick hack that I'll show you is the line height. So for any content section, you can go into, there's content, which is where you're doing your typing, and then there's style. And you can go in and alter the line height. I love double space, and you can click this thing here and it applies it to all the text in your whole email. So already it's looking more spaced and more lovely. The other thing I was going to show you is a button. So let's just do a super quick button. Now, when you pull a button over, it is this hideous color, right? But I mean, you look at your own website and you have, hopefully you have a consistent button style. I have to say, I have this like little pet peeve about buttons, and I like the buttons to be consistent. So on mine, I'm like got the tiniest little rounded corner. I've got all text, all caps text, and it's, it doesn't have heaps of padding around it. It's pretty close. So I'm going to try and replicate that button over here. So go away, little thing. Obviously you want to change the words of your button. So you can change it. You may have to actually type it in caps if you want it to be caps. And then you're going to get your URL and you're going to paste that into here. And so now your button links somewhere, but it's still this disgusting blue color. So then for the background, you can click here and then you can choose a different color to be your background. I'm going to see if I can find my color. That's pretty close. So that's one thing that we did. The text is white. I don't really like a bold style button, but you might. Spacing, I probably wanted a bit more spaced out. The font, I'm going to take charge and make it my own font. Maybe Laura's nicer if it'll let me. And then the text size, you can scroll through here and have a look. And then padding, I'm probably going to make that 24 just to make a bit more space around it. And the other thing is, rounded corners. So I actually just want mine slightly less rounded. You can add a border and then you've got to do a color for the border. So you might want to just go and copy this hex so that it's the same color border, unless you like a different color border, which is totally not my jam. So then we can add a border and then we can make it thicker as well. So you might actually want to make a 3 pixel border or a 10 pixel border, and it just puffs your button out a whole lot more. But I'm probably not going to bother with that. I'll just leave it with 1. And then the magic trick is you can click this and it will apply it to all other buttons. So I should be able to go into here again and go to style and click apply, and it will make all my buttons consistently on brand. So I think that's enough. I'll do another video another time about images. And for now, hopefully this is going to just get your MailChimp email looking a little bit nicer, a bit more on brand, more spaced, the fonts that you want. You're in charge of the formatting. Just remember to clear the text box completely and then paste to match the formatting. So right click, paste to match the formatting. Or you might have an option that says paste without styling, or tell me in the comments what yours says. I hope this was helpful. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And I really look forward to connecting with you somewhere in the future in some way. Thank you. See ya.